Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to tap that bell icon to be notified every time a new video is released. Thanks!
Get ready for your weekly dose of pixie dust with Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePaoli.
And I'm Patrick Dougal.
Patrick Dougal!
Here I am.
The OG DCTC.
Here I am.
Here you are.
I am here.
You're here. How's it going?
It's going great.
Great. Well, we're here to talk about something today, Aladdin the Musical.
Yeah.
Which we both saw at the Pantages Theater.
Yeah, we did.
So let's get to it.
Here we go.
It's time to dive into today's Disney dialogue.
Now, the history of Aladdin, the Broadway musical, and DCTC actually goes all the way back to episode 1.
Does it?
It does.
I didn't even know this.
So we premiered in February of 2014, and it opened on Broadway in March of 2014.
Oh, wow.
So literally on the first episode of Disney Coast to Coast, we talk about Aladdin the Broadway musical, which of course at that point we knew nothing about.
Yeah, exactly.
It hadn't opened, so it was more of just a news thing and something we were looking forward to. But it's taken us 4 years to see it.
Yeah, first time seeing it.
First time seeing it for me as well. To be honest, that was by choice for me. I had been to New York a couple times, and it just was never a show that was oh, I gotta see this. But I did see it. I was very curious. I saw it at the Pantages. You did as well. Now, you especially are a mega fan of the Disney California Adventure, Aladdin, a Musical Spectacular.
Heck yes.
So I'm very curious, and we haven't talked about this at all.
No.
So I'm very curious to discuss with you your thoughts on Aladdin the Broadway Musical versus the DCA one as well.
Yes.
So where would you like to start with
I don't
this?
even know where to start.
Okay, well, let's just start with the fact that currently on tour at the Pantages Theater in Hollywood, we have Adam Jacobs playing Aladdin and Courtney Reed at certain performances playing Jasmine, who are the original Broadway cast members.
Yes.
We have Michael James Scott, who's playing the genie. I believe he originated the role in Australia.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just going to shout out to this actor because I think he was the best actor in the show. Take a guess. Do you have any idea which character I might have fallen in love with?
Yes.
Who?
Kasim.
No, which one's Kasim?
The one in the red.
One of the three friends?
Yeah.
It was a different one. It was Omar.
The one in the blue?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Loved Omar. So Kasim's the one with the thinner one with the beard?
Yeah.
Okay, no. All about Omar.
Really?
In love with Omar.
Like the nerdy kind of one?
Yes.
Okay.
Philip Arroyo is the actor's name. Huge shout out to him.
Because I really like Kasim.
Isn't that interesting? Okay, we both left Aladdin the Broadway musical, and the actor we're most interested in is one of Aladdin's friends.
Yes. Okay. So I want to talk about this because when I initially heard this, so they were getting rid of Abu and adding these three friends.
Yes.
I was concerning.
I see. To me, it was expected just because I had been so used to it with DCA not having it. For those of you listening, by the way, that might not know, DCA, Disney California Adventure theme park at the Disneyland Resort, used to have a 45-minute Broadway-style show called Aladdin the Musical Spectacular. Very high production value. Great show. But in any case, so they didn't have Abu at DCA. They don't have Abu in the musical. And as you said, in the musical, they've replaced it with three friends.
Yeah.
Who were, I believe, in the original concept of the film.
I believe so as well.
I find this so interesting.
They might have been my favorite part.
They were the most fun to watch, I would say. And I didn't expect that.
Yes. And it's weird because listening, of course, when initially Aladdin came out, I listened to the soundtrack, the Broadway soundtrack, and I didn't like any of their songs.
Agreed.
I didn't like the Friends songs, but when I saw it, it was my favorite part.
100% agree. Now, here's what's so interesting about this. So, High Adventure is a great song for the three of them. I'm trying to think. It's in Act 2, right?
Yeah, it is.
And it's them getting ready to...
It's them storming the palace because Aladdin's been captured.
Okay. Now, I'm I'm like 99% sure that this song was actually written for the animated film as well.
Really?
Because I feel like I've heard like a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I have like a special edition soundtrack of the Aladdin film, and there's bonuses of Alan Menken doing demos. And I'm 99% sure High Adventure is a song on there. So I'd heard the song for a long time, didn't really care for it.
No, it's not a song. It's not like, it's literally them just repeating High Adventure a lot of times. But when you get the visuals, it makes a lot more sense and it's more fun.
And Omar's amazing.
I like his theme. Although, Babcott's song too is like that random guy who just gets food puns all the time.
Yes. No, the three friends were a really nice, unexpected addition.
Exactly.
I was as I said, I went to the show more out of curiosity than anything. I didn't think it looked bad. I just thought it looked fine. And when you're paying for an expensive ticket, like fine doesn't necessarily make you want to spend over $100. I splurged on this show because, well, frankly, it was a gift, but I got 4th row center because I was like, I want to see that flying carpet.
Yeah.
Like that was a big thing for me because I knew Disney magic in the Broadway shows, they tend to have something special in there. It started way back with their first Broadway show with Beauty and the Beast transformation. Did you ever see like Disney's production of that show?
I saw it touring.
But not it was like the networks one?
I think it was like
okay.
Feld or something.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was networks what you saw, but
maybe.
But if it were on ice, it was Feld.
No. But, or live, any live.
Yeah, but
it might have been networks.
So in any case, in the Disney production, the Beast transformation is really mind blowing, and I don't know if I got these facts right or not, but I believe they brought in the illusionist David Copperfield to create the illusion. So obviously Disney invests in like these wow moments on stage, and so for Aladdin, of course, the flying carpet is the wow moment.
Yeah.
I guess since I jumped there, what did you think of that?
The flying carpet? I mean, I thought it looked great to me.
Where were you sitting?
I was sitting orchestra U.
Okay. So good seat.
Yeah. The one thing that bothered me a little bit was just the lighting and the stars in the background. It seemed like I was on like Space Mountain.
Yeah.
It was a bit much and a bit like over the top fake.
Yes.
like I was on like Spaceship Earth or like something crazy where like you were like going at hyper speed.
Yeah.
Through whatever. They apparently go in space in this one. They don't go around the world. They're like, let me show you the solar system.
It's just dark skies. But I will say that, okay, so I am assuming that all of this, if it were not Disney on Broadway, I wouldn't assume this. But I'm assuming that this is the Broadway show, if not very close to the Broadway show. Disney on Broadway does a fantastic job of taking their Broadway production and putting it on the road. Most producers will, pull things back, change a lot of set pieces, do whatever they got to do to make it cheaper to put on the road. Disney really doesn't tend to do that, which I applaud them for. So having not seen it on Broadway, I'm assuming what we saw is similar to what's on Broadway. Yeah, it's in...
Did you see anything sitting up close?
No. I have no idea how the carpet works, and that's frustrating. I don't see any strings, and so as you mentioned, it's very dark, and so I was like, okay, well, there's definitely opportunity here to hide effects.
Yeah.
Like, definitely could. But I didn't see anything, and the one thing is, I will say the carpet is, like, really thick. It's a platform, it's not a carpet. Like, it looks like I don't know. How thick do you think it would be? Like, at least
2-3 bricks.
I'd say more than that. Maybe 3 bricks tall, thick. Yeah. So it's like, it's a wooden platform, which I get. Listen, they're not gonna make a carpet fly. It was the same thing, I would say, DCA, but I think it was hidden better
Oh yeah.
This, I don't know how they do it. I've heard something about like, and I don't know if this is true or not. Something about droids in each corner.
Oh. I've heard something about strings, but they
spin?
They spin.
Okay, I've heard that as well.
So fast that you can't see them.
But if it's just string, why does the platform need to be that thick?
I don't know.
I feel like there's something hidden in there. I don't know. I've heard the string thing as well. I honestly have no idea how it's done.
idea.
And I will say that like all of the actors sign non-disclosure agreements about these things, and I've worked with people who had like done Beauty and the Beast in the past. I'm like, okay, so how is it done? And nobody will tell me. Like people take those NDAs pretty seriously, which I think is good but annoying. But yeah, so during that number, I agree. I actually think DCA's flying carpet sequence is better, even though the strings and mechanics of it are far more obvious. Let's put aside the fact that they fly over the audience at Disney California Adventure, because yeah, that's a nice bonus, but I get it. Like, you're on tour, number one, you're not going to do it. I'm a little surprised they don't do it on Broadway, where it flies over the audience, because like Mary Poppins flying over the audience is like one of the greatest effects. Yeah. And I'm a little surprised the carpet doesn't do it. But I don't know. What did you think of it compared to DCA's carpet sequence?
Well, I mean, DCA's was only like half the song, and then you had to have a double Aladdin and Jasmine.
Okay, yes, I hated the double thing. Hated that.
So I don't. If there was a possibility, but the thing is with that show touring in the different theaters it goes in, I feel like it'd be theater specific to be able to actually exit over the stage.
Yeah, take that out of it, I would say. I just think that I'm talking about like the set pieces. Like at DCA, the carpet would be flying. First of all, there was tons of fog, so it looked like they were rolling over the clouds. And then they'd have set pieces of, world icons that would pass by and stuff. There was literally nothing on stage except a black background and stars.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just thought it was more visually appealing, more impressive for the musical, more visually appealing for the theme park show.
Yeah.
And let me just say, like, I never thought I would compare a theme park show to a Broadway musical. And I don't know if that's like applause Disney for making a theme park show so brilliant, or a little sad that a Broadway show isn't better.
Exactly.
I think it's actually kind of somewhere in the middle, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Did you have any favorite moment in the show?
I'm trying to think.
Because mine was what I'm not going to say I expected this to be my favorite moment, but I knew there was a high chance. Proud of Your Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just a song, was my favorite moment in the show. And it's the lead-in of One Jump Ahead, the reprise, which is like my favorite song in all of Aladdin anywhere, which leads into Proud of Your Boy, which is another favorite song. And it was just like a great moment. It ends Act 1, which was a little surprising to me. Or no, is it the reprise? The reprise ends Act 1. But I don't know. It was just a beautiful, beautiful song, beautiful performance. I was a little surprised because when I heard that this song was back in the musical, I assumed the mom was back, because I know that that's the reason why it was cut from the animated film, is because they got rid of the mom character. I expected Mom to be in the show. It's like, oh no, she did.
No, she's dead.
She's dead from the beginning.
Whole family's dead.
Yeah, so Proud of Your Boy was exciting for me.
I agree. Also, I mean, Friend Like Me, you have just a lot going on.
You have a lot going on.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's a long number.
What I would say is Friend Like Me is the Be Our Guest of Aladdin.
Yes.
And that was a little surprising, because I did expect another number to be as good, if not better, than Friend Like Me, but we'll get to that in a second. Talk to me about
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, talk to me about Friend Like Me and what you liked about it.
I mean, there's just a lot to it. Indoor fireworks. Hello. There's a lot of indoor fireworks.
You like the indoor pyro? All right.
I mean, there's a moment where the genie goes into a full Disney medley.
Yeah.
Which
all Alan Menken music.
All Alan Menken music, from Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid. Pocahontas was thrown in there.
Was it?
Yeah.
What part of Pocahontas? I don't
Colors of the Wind.
Yes. Yep. You're right.
So that was fun. The thing about this show is it's very, especially with the genie, this was in DC as well, it breaks the fourth wall constantly.
Yeah.
The audience is definitely part of the show. But not only does the genie break fourth wall, there's like some moments where some of the other characters do. And to me, some of it was a little off-putting and forced. There's actually a moment where like, I don't know this probably happened with you, but Jasmine comes out and she's like, they're talking about ruling the kingdom, and she's like, you need to choose a prince to rule the kingdom. And she steps out and she goes, why can't a woman rule the kingdom? And she eyes the audience and waits for a pause. And I was like, oh God.
Can I tell you something? The reaction in the audience the night I saw it was literally nothing.
Oh.
So it was an awkward pause. And in Hollywood, you'd expect, woo!
Yeah.
You'd expect a huge reaction to that. nothing.
Well, that's the thing.
We all knew what she was getting at.
Yeah.
But it was just like, really? We're putting that in Aladdin?
No, yeah, it felt weird to me because then it felt very forced because there was a small pause in mine, and then you hear like just very few sporadic claps and woos, and I was like, well, that was weird.
Yes.
Like, good job for you going for it, but maybe not the best platform.
Agreed. Yeah, it was definitely an awkward pause. I will say, so the interesting thing about Aladdin, the animated film, is that was kind of a groundbreaking film for Disney because there are a lot of modern, at the time anyway, modern references in the film. You've got, the genie doing impressions of Jack Nicholson and Rodney Dangerfield, and there's just a lot of that. So this whole like breaking the fourth wall, even I think the genie talks to the audience.
Yeah.
In the film.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of always been part of the DNA for Aladdin, and it works in the film.
I think it works with Genie, and it doesn't work with any of the other characters.
Okay, I would agree with that. But something's happened to Aladdin that I find interesting. I am not a person that gets offended easily, and I'll say right out, I'm not offended by this. But I find it interesting that for some reason, the comedy in Aladdin has stopped being about current stuff and more about being a flaming queen. Every character, I shouldn't say every character, the genie has become a flaming queen.
Yeah.
His three friends are flaming queens. Iago is a flaming queen. And these aren't like, I'm not saying the actors are flaming queens. I'm saying these characters have become this. And for some reason, this has become the comedy of Aladdin. And as I said, I'm not offended by it, but I am confused by it and not sure why the story has taken this direction. And I will say, that goes all the way back to DCA. This isn't just like the Broadway musical thing. I don't get it. Like, is it funny because like we're in this like native land that like there aren't flaming queens? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's very confusing to me. But I noticed it with the genie, especially at Disney California Adventure. I was like, to me, I feel like there's some confusion about the performance that Robin Williams gave. And I'm not saying that like everybody's performance of the genie should just be a complete rip-off of Robin Williams. In fact, I think that would be a mistake because nobody can do that. But I don't know why that's the direction they went in. I don't know. Is it funny to you?
I mean, I could see...
The audience loves it.
Yeah.
I'll put that out there. The audience thinks it's hilarious. Yeah. But I'm always just like, why?
The thing I'm very curious to see is now that we have so much Aladdin, of course, next year we have the live-action Aladdin.
Can I tell you, I'm literally considering not seeing it.
With Will Smith.
That's why.
And I'm very interested to see his portrayal of it.
What do you think it will be?
I don't know.
How do I say this nicely? Will Smith to me is like a very ego-driven personality.
Let me tell you. Let me talk about this. When I was watching this show and I was watching the genie,
don't tell me you had moments of seeing Will Smith.
No.
Okay.
When I was watching a show and watching Genie, at one point I also was like, am I watching Donkey from Shrek?
Yes. Okay. That is a really good analogy, I think. Aladdin has become kind of DreamWorks.
Yes.
That's a terrifying thing to say.
And I was like, there was moments where I was like, this is Shrek the musical.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. But
It was some of.
I enjoyed the show, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Putting that out there, I enjoyed the show.
No, I love Shrek the musical. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
But no, yeah, it was full on like that at the point where it sounded like even like he was doing an Eddie Murphy impression.
The genie.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is just Shrek. This is just Donkey.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know back to the Will Smith thing. I think it's just going to be a very big, bombastic, ego genie. Mm-hmm. I hope they don't go flaming with it. I just don't understand that direction that they've decided to go in with the characters. I find it strange. It's just a weird choice to me.
Mm-hmm. But going back, so we got to see... Did you get to see Courtney Reed?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think of Adam Jacobs?
That's an interesting question that you went, did you see Courtney Reed? What did you think of that?
Well, I'm gonna we saw because
we saw
Adam Jacobs is at every performance. Courtney Reed's kind of doing flip flops, but I saw Adam Jacobs. I saw Courtney Reed. What did you think of the original Broadway cast?
They are not a selling point to the show for me.
Okay.
The only person in the original Broadway cast that I wish I had seen was Jonathan Freeman as Jafar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been exciting. I will say the guy playing Jafar on the tour, fantastic. Even at moments, felt very Jonathan Freeman to me. He's fantastic. I just think it would have been like fun to see the original voice of Jafar performing the role on stage. Other than that, like the cast is not. I'm like being 1,000% serious when I say my favorite actor in the show was Philip, who played Omar.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I was like, about them.
I really enjoyed Adam Jacobs. I'm glad I got to see him. His Aladdin scene's very bro-y. But
Aladdin's kind of a bro.
Yeah.
I think Scott Wanger's performance of Aladdin is very bro.
Mm-hmm. But of course, he's been playing this character for so long. I think he's got it down. I
will say granted, I was pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a little older than I would expect Aladdin to be. Mm-hmm. I'll put that out there. But it's stage that age doesn't matter nearly as much on stage. Courtney?
Didn't care for her.
I didn't want to say it, but...
I didn't want to say it either, but there's moments where I was like, how were you, OBC?
I honestly have no idea how... I 1,000% agree, and I just don't want to be mean, but I was very surprised by that performance. I was just like, wow. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Iago for a second.
Iago.
Who is a human.
Yeah, it's just like a little human guy.
A little human guy, yes. Jafar's sidekick, Iago. So unlike Abu, they didn't get rid of the character. Mm-hmm. They kept the character and just made him a human. But there is a great line where, like, Iago tends to repeat a lot of what Jafar says, and Jafar goes, "Quit parroting me." I was like, great line. Love that. He was fun. The guy who played Iago, once again, character became a flamer for some reason. Mm-hmm. But fun. I thought they played off each other really well. But yeah, I liked him. I liked Jafar. It was like overall, the show was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird because I was looking really, really forward to the show, which, as I said, like, I hadn't seen the show because I was very on the fence about it. But I decided it's in LA. I'm going to go see it. It's not going to take a ton of effort to go and see it. And just a couple days before, I recorded a recent episode of Disney Coast to Coast where we did a countdown of our top 10 songs from Disney on Broadway. So I was in the Disney on Broadway mood. I had been listening to the Aladdin soundtrack, and I was just like, I'm ready to see this. I'm so excited. I had an awesome seat. I'm like, yeah, let's go Aladdin. And I went and I was like, I had a really fun night. Is it a show that I would tell people, you gotta go see Aladdin? I don't think so.
No.
I am curious now. So having seen Aladdin, which is the most current Disney on Broadway production.
Yeah.
Does it give you any reservations about Frozen?
Oh, I think Frozen, it will be better.
You think so?
Yeah. And judging from just people I know who have seen it in previews and have loved it, I think the Broadway will surpass Aladdin.
Cool. I hope so. I hope it's really, really cool.
I mean, of course, with anything, as they did in Aladdin, they've made changes.
Yeah.
That I'm excited to see. They've got rid of the trolls. They're now mountain people. Mm-hmm. It's Frozen makes sense on Broadway to me.
See, to me, I'm waiting for it. Now, Frozen, to me, looks like another one that will be closely related to the film. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'm really wanting another Lion King. I want something that is just shocking, like something that is high art, but appeals to the mainstream crowds. I want something that is kind of like, well, you shouldn't be putting that on stage. Because when The Lion King was announced, which I'm old enough to remember, I just remember being like, what are they thinking? What are they thinking? Yeah. This makes no sense. So I'm like kind of waiting for that, and I don't know what that would be. There's several shows in the works, like Jungle Book, I know, is a musical in the works. I think Pinocchio. Hercules, yeah, there's quite a few. Hercules I totally see as a Broadway musical. I feel like that would translate very easily to a Broadway musical. But Yeah.
Of course, anything when a Disney show goes to Broadway, the most exciting thing for me is new songs.
Yeah, new songs is always fun. New orchestrations is always fun. New lyrics are always interesting. That's always a gamble. Like, will I prefer the movie lyrics or the Broadway lyrics, which is a lot of fun. So one character that, like, unlike a Boo, isn't completely cut, but is majorly decreased as far as importance, is the carpet.
Oh, yeah.
The carpet is not a character.
It's just the platform.
The carpet is a prop.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because if you remember the Disney California Adventure version, the carpet
was a full character.
Full character, like the animated film introduced in the Cave of Wonders. This carpet is basically a throwaway line from the genie. Like, I can't remember exactly when it happened, but they're going through the story, go through the whole Cave of Wonders thing, no sign of the carpet whatsoever. And then, like, the genie somewhere says something like, oh yeah, and I brought a flying carpet with me. Like, something like that. And that's the first time you hear about a flying carpet, and you're like, oh, that's right. Like, we haven't met the carpet yet. And we have a whole new world coming up very soon. That's interesting.
You know, to me, I didn't even notice that. I think the show relies heavily on, you already know this story.
1,000%. Yes.
The beginning number is like, you've heard this story before. And at the end, they're like, we changed some things in the story, but don't worry.
Yeah. I would agree to a point that with the carpet especially, it's like, okay, if you're coming to see Aladdin on Broadway, you know there's a flying carpet. I do think it was an interesting choice. I don't know why they didn't keep the character. I remember that character being like, it was a mute character at DCA, as well as in the film. And people really liked that character, I feel like. I don't know. It was just a little bit... when it came to the flying carpet sequence, it was a little less special because... I don't know.
I think in the Broadway show, they just try to make it more, you can say whatever you want about it, make it Aladdin more real, but they didn't have any inanimate object characters.
No parrot, no monkey, no... Yeah. Not that they're inanimate, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Non-human. I just found that strange when it was just, like, the line alone was like, oh yeah, where do you come from? Speaking of the Cave of Wonders, though, I was saying that's where you normally meet the carpet. Okay, so when the Cave of Wonders set is revealed, you basically have gold coming from every direction, coming from above, coming from below, coming from the sides. This gold set that first thought in my mind, I was like, oh, that poor lighting designer. What a nightmare, because every single surface was just reflective.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't even know how they lit that without blinding the audience. Like, it's so shiny and everything. It was kind of crazy to me.
I didn't think about that.
I did. As a theater nerd, like, that was literally my first thought as I saw all this gold come in. It's beautiful, but I was like, oh, what a nightmare this must have been from a lighting designer standpoint. But you had said your favorite moment in the show was Friend Like Me, but you didn't really get into it. So what, any specific moments about Friend Like Me? Did you like the genie reveal? Or?
I just like the whole number in general. Like, it's that spectacle number you expect from any Disney Broadway musical.
Yeah. As I said, it's like the Be Our Guest of the show. What do you think of the genie reveal in this versus like DCA's?
He just comes out of a tower.
He comes out of a gold tower. Now, the interesting thing is, because the genie is such a huge part of Aladdin, they did something interesting where the actor playing the genie, in fact, the genie, I would say, introduces the show.
Yeah.
He does the whole narrator, storyteller, Arabian Nights intro. And actually, Arabian Nights a huge number in this show.
It is.
It's a really big number.
At one point, did one of the lyrics, they actually make fun of the show?
What lyric?
I don't know. They're just like, welcome to Agrabah, where everyone's skinny and everyone can dance.
Oh, yeah, where everybody's...
Yes. Just like,
yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there was a funny comment like that. But, the entire cast is on stage. It's your first... I was kind of... This is a lame little point, but the front curtain was so disappointing to me.
Oh, it just like it rips off.
It's not even that I just didn't like the design of it.
Yeah.
I've never been in love with the design of Aladdin, and I think that's like a cultural thing. I'm not into that.
I even like the DCA curtain, though.
Yeah, that was the gold with the purple. Yeah, I liked that one more. I kind of just wish it would have been the logo with like the lamp and that genie-esque figure coming out of it. But yeah, I didn't love the curtain, although being so close, I kept looking for hidden Mickeys. I didn't see any. If anybody knows that there are hidden Mickeys in the Aladdin front curtain, let me know. I'd be curious.
It.
You doubt it?
Yeah.
See, I expected it. I was like, where's the hidden Mickey? There's got to be a hidden Mickey. I totally, because it's just like patterns all over.
Yeah.
It. That's the kind of stuff you hide a hidden Mickey in. We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but Prince Ali.
Disappointing. Prince
Ali, of course, is the giant number.
It's so good in California Adventures version, but
it's so, okay. That was the number that was like, okay, never thought I would be like, whoa, DCA's version way better.
Yeah.
The Prince Ali number, like in a lion-esque way, has animals marching through the aisles and stuff. This was literally just a dance number. And correct me if I'm wrong, opens Act 2?
Yeah.
This was the most disappointing number in the show. It does nothing.
I would agree.
And this is a number that I would expect to be as big as Friend Like Me.
Yeah.
I guess Act 2 has a whole new world in it, right? So maybe that's the big number of the second act, whereas I don't know. I just couldn't believe it. Was there anything memorable about that number to you?
The only thing that was memorable.
I know what you're gonna say. The cameo?
Yeah, was when they said was it 90 white Persian monkeys or whatever, and there's a picture of Abu.
Yeah, so we get a cameo of Abu from the film, which is kind of a nice.
Just him on like a poster board.
Yeah, pretty much. They hold up a card and it's Abu, and you're like, like I thought that was a great little moment.
That's it.
But yeah, that was definitely the most disappointing number in the show.
And it's just Genie and the rest of the ensemble, and Aladdin doesn't even show up on his thing till like the very last lyric.
Yeah, and you don't get anything that they're talking about. You know, I don't know the lyrics, but the golden camels and everything, this and that. None of it appears on stage. It's just sung and danced to. And I was like, what are they doing to this fabulous number? I was a little really surprised by that. I don't know if that was like a budget cut thing or what, but that's what it felt like to me. Now, there was a moment in the show that the dude behind me lost his mind, okay? Up to this point, I literally laughed out loud in the theater because it was just too funny. Up to this point, we had seen a carpet fly.
Yeah.
We had seen a big number with a friend like me. We'd seen some pretty cool stuff happening on stage. So we get to the end of the show where Jafar, has control of the genie and makes his wish to become Sultan. And then he makes his wish to become a genie because he thinks that will make him all powerful. And, the effects that they do for this, it's pretty simple. It's something we've seen before. Jafar's standing on a platform. He's wearing his all black Jafar garb. And then, like, in a second, very much like, who said this to me? I think somebody said this to me. About the
Voyage
fan?
of the Little Mermaid.
Yes, okay. Do tell that. Yes.
We saw this somewhere else recently. I don't know. It's basically
we were talking about a different show, and I can't even remember what it was. But I
think it's Frozen when that preview came out and the dress change is the same thing. So basically, Disney loves doing this. It's basically in Voyage of the Little Mermaid when it's like almost like a vacuum where someone like pulls something you get. Costume just gets ripped off so fast and gets sucked into the abyss.
Into the abyss, yes.
So it's just a quick costume change, and I don't know if they'll keep this for Frozen on Broadway, but a video came out on about this being the preview in Denver, how Elsa's dress transformation was the same where her dress got ripped off and reveals the blue dress, and that's how they do it in Aladdin. Jafar makes his wish for a sultan, and he's standing behind this curtain, kind of like a what is it called?
A little archway?
Yeah.
He's standing on a little platform.
Gazebo kind of thing.
Okay, sure.
And his costume gets ripped away, and he's in this white costume now because he's a sultan. And then after the next, I wasn't expecting it again. I
wasn't expecting it, but
he's wearing 3 layers of costumes because once he gets a wish to become a genie, his white clothes get ripped off to a red kind of attire.
Okay. I will say this was done well.
Yeah. But it's not something I haven't seen before.
Yes, and you know, maybe we're just spoiled people who see a lot of theater and theme park shows, so I'm not making fun of this person behind me. I just couldn't stop laughing when he literally went, whoa! Like, lost his mind. Whoa! Freaked out. And I was just like, wow, that is quite the reaction to... I apologize to anybody whose ears I just blew out there. But it was the funniest reaction. I will say, it wasn't the clothing part that surprised me as much as his headwear.
Yeah.
He has the typical headwear of Jafar, and that changed color as well. And that I was like, I don't know exactly how that one's being done, because I can't imagine that's being ripped off. I feel like that might be a flip of a switch type thing. I don't know. But I was like, in the second time even, I was like, darn it, I wish I had been expecting that, because I would have paid more attention to the hat there. But so he does turn into the genie, but never turns into the snake. That was a huge thing in the DCA version where there's a giant snake that appeared actually out from the orchestra.
The thing is, it's so this scene especially, it's a big part in the DCA version, but they speed through it here.
Yeah,
they're like, I wish to be a sultan. Okay, now I wish to be a genie. And I was like, oh, we're going quick here.
Yeah, obviously there were story changes. There's a interesting whole sequence where they have to, Aladdin has to rescue his friends who had been captured because they went to the castle with him to save him. And so there's a lot of stuff that's not in the animated film, not in the Disney California Adventure version. I am a little surprised, although not unhappy about this, but I am a little surprised that, I never know the name of the song. Lucky Bird? What's the actual name of the song?
Is it Lucky Bird? To Be Free.
To Be Free. So from the Disney... See, I'm not a huge fan of it, but that is an original song for the Disney California Adventure version, taking musical themes from the film and adding lyrics. It was a song for Jasmine. Does she have a song in this?
Yeah, she...
Oh, yeah, she with the other
behind
girls.
These palace walls.
Yeah, not my favorite.
Nope.
Actually, I think I prefer To Be Free. So I was a little surprised that To Be Free didn't make it into the Broadway musical. But, all the characters have a lot more to do. The story is expanded. There are some nice surprises. So if you are super familiar with the film, you're still good to go. You're still going to have an enjoyable night. Overall, I'd say a fun evening at the theater. That's how I would leave it. Go ahead.
Oh, the thing about this one, to me, every time... when I saw the Disney California Adventure version, I always
What you saw 60 times?
1,000,000 times.
How many?
I don't know.
60? You think over 100?
I wouldn't say over 100.
Close to 100.
Yeah, close to 100.
Okay. That's a lot.
When Aladdin freed the genie, there was always this big moment, heart, and you felt it. Here I don't know, it just rushed through it, and I didn't feel. They're like, also, you're free. All right, next number, and I was like, am I supposed to feel something that I'm he's free? I was like, cool, you're free. I guess we'll just go to the next number now.
The thing about Broadway musicals is and this isn't a set in stone rule, but they clock in at 2.5 hours, including intermission. That's just the length of time. So sometimes it is okay, we got to get this done faster. To me, I would have cut other stuff first. There were some interesting choices made with Aladdin the Broadway musical. It's a very enjoyable show. If you get a chance, I would definitely say go see it. But it's not my top Disney theatrical production.
I just didn't feel anything. I felt more from the Disney California Adventure show. When they fought, I felt the tension and whatever. I think that was more played up, and then the change of heart of him giving him the third wish to be free was more impactful at Disney California Adventure.
Yeah. Now, do you think that should still be running at Disney California Adventure? I know, it closed kind of, soon before this tour went on the road, right?
Yes.
I think that was... I'm sure that had part of something to do with it. I don't know. Which do you prefer, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I mean,
I can't... I honestly don't know the answer to
No, I think
it's so split.
There are pros and cons to each of them.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Broadway one's more lavish and...
At moments. That's the thing that surprised me is Disney California Adventure definitely had moments that were more lavish than the Broadway production. The Prince Ali number and the carpet.
Yeah.
The carpet I'm so torn on.
yeah,
The carpet is
I don't
so
know.
impressive. But I don't know. I just felt like, just because there's nothing to look at other than them flying in space, as you said, I wish that they had kept that whole, the set
On
pieces.
the floor.
Yeah. I think that was better. But yeah.
It's hard to say.
It's very hard to say. You guys should go see it and decide for yourself. That's what I would say.
Next, we're going to see Frozen and compare that.
Yeah, that I don't know when I'll see it. I am not running to see it. I would definitely want to see it. What theater is that going into?
St. James.
The St. James Giant House.
Previews start February 22nd.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, that is the St. James's. I saw the producers there.
Okay.
The original. I think that's the only show I've ever seen in there. But original Broadway cast of that. Talk about a phenomenon. That show is a phenomenon. That was like, I went at some point during the first year. It was still Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick, and but it felt like an opening night when I went.
Really?
Because it was just one of those shows where, like, you had the lines around the blocks trying to get in, and you had that standby line. Like, that was, I think in my lifetime, that was the first show I remember being like a Hamilton-type show. That was massive. But in any case, that was the St. James Theater, so that's a big house.
Yeah, I was actually just in New York in January, and all the marquees are up, all the billboards. They were actually loading in.
Oh, nice.
So, exciting.
Cool. Well, Frozen is the next one for Disney Theatrical Group. Guys, I want you to join the conversation. Go to YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know, of the new music from Aladdin the Broadway Musical, which is your favorite song of the new music? If you don't know it, go to YouTube. I'm sure somebody has uploaded the entire cast album there. But yeah, go to YouTube, leave a comment in the conversation. What is your favorite new song from Aladdin, a Broadway musical? But I guess that means
It's trivia time!
Okay, Patrick, do you want to hit me with the question first? Or shall
Sure,
I? Okay,
I'll go first. So earlier we were talking about the Prince Ali number, and we couldn't come up with the number of white Persian monkeys. Do you know how many white Persian monkeys are in the Prince Ali number?
Is it 99?
It is not 99,
Okay.
but you're
That's
pretty
Golden Camels,
close,
right?
You're pretty close.
100?
No,
98.
no.
That wasn't that close.
You're pretty close.
We've got 102.
95 white
95
Persian monkeys.
We've got 95 white Persian monkeys. See, 95, 99, they sound similar.
Yeah.
That's where I got lost. GD.
You're over by 4.
Well, Aladdin, the Broadway musical, before it went to Broadway, had its out-of-town tryout in what theater? In what city, rather? Do you know?
Wasn't it in Canada? Mm-hmm. Toronto or Seattle? Yeah.
Toronto, yeah. It was in Toronto. Boom, you win. And before Toronto, it actually, it was in Seattle in 2011.
Okay.
And so the show actually was workshopped for quite some time, which is another part of the reason why I wasn't...
I only remember that because I remember during previews I tried to YouTube Toronto flying carpet. I wanted to see what they did.
Yeah, I don't know when that effect was actually brought into the show. I don't know how long it was done there. But I do know that they'd workshopped this show for a very, very, very long time, which is why I'm surprised it's not a little bigger than it is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyway, I keep having to say this because I just feel like I'm crap talking this show so much. But I really enjoyed the show. I had a fun night out. And the Pantages is such a great theater. Oh my, if you're in Hollywood on vacation, try and see a show at the Pantages.
I don't know anymore, though.
You don't like the Pantages?
No, I think the Pantages is beautiful, but it's so big.
Well, okay, that is the opinion of a boy who just got back from New York City.
Yes.
It's interesting because New York City is the home of Broadway, of course, and everybody expects huge, lavish theater. It's the theater capital of the world, right? You're nothing unless you're on Broadway. Those houses are tiny.
Yeah.
Because think of it, real estate space.
Honestly, you could sit in the back mezzanine and you're still great.
It's true.
Unless you go to the Palace.
Don't expect that with the St. James, though.
Or the Palace.
Palace is big. St. James is big. There's a few Broadway houses that are very large, but in general, they're small.
Yeah.
I'd say around 1,200 seats is pretty normal on Broadway.
I went to go see Dear Evan Hansen. I sat first row.
Which theater? That's in the Music Box.
Yes, first row mezzanine, and I could barely see the first row of the actual orchestra because it's just as close.
Yeah, it's different. So yeah, Yes, yeah, this is a boy who just got back from New York City and will now
But
be...
yes, the Fantasus is big and great and beautiful, but like...
It's a different
I don't want to
experience.
sit in the back mezzanine there.
For sure. There are shows that like people are like, oh, you can get a $40 ticket or whatever. I'm like, to me, it's not even worth it if you're that far back in a lot of cases.
Binoculars.
Yeah, so... that's so funny. That's funny. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Patrick, so nice to have you back.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Guys, if you want to check us out on social media, make sure you head to DisneyCoastToCoast.com. You can also find our Patreon link there where you can get some pretty cool rewards if you become a patron of the show. Thanks to everybody who already has. And just a reminder, folks, every single month there is a new Disney-inspired music playlist that you can get from Disney Coast to Coast. Just go to DisneyCoastToCoast.com, click on playlist so that you can get that in your inbox. Sound good? Anything you want to plug before we go?
Nope.
Nothing plug time. Okay, guys, have a magical day. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePaoli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.